Hello there, I'm Mr. Saem. Hello there, I'm Sam Tariq. Today we'll be solving this is June 2021 P4. I'll share a different video for task 1, but my primary concern today is not even task 2, it's task 3. So let's solve this today. Okay, so I got a lot of requests from my students and um, my own students and obviously students I don't teach. So open French clients file in a spreadsheet application, insert top 3 rows. So here we go. Okay. This is what we have. So I'm going to open is French clients and I'm going to add top 3 rows. So here we go. We're going to add 3 rows over here. So insert 1, insert. Oh, let me just increase the volume in case. Yes, it is there. And here we go. Excuse me for. Right. Set row 2 to twice the default of row height. So 2 has to be twice. So if you look at row height of row 1, you can simply come into row height and see if it's 15. So row 2 in that particular case can be defined as twice. So we'll make it 30 and press OK. Right? Insert the labels city and total in E2 and G2. So in E2, I need to have city, and in G2, I need to have is total. Format the text so that it's right aligned at 24 bold sans serif font, so that it's this one and this one is right aligned, it's bold, and it's 24. Okay, so just select this. Right, arrange it again. Okay, format the text in cell C2 to right and done. Format cells F2 to H2 so that the data they will hold is centerlined and read 24-point sans serif font. So in F2 and H2 again, we have to make sure F2 and H2. So you have F2 and H2 that will have should again be, as you can see over here, should be red and 24. So this one and this one, the font should be red and it should be again, so I'll type it myself, is 24. Right. Save the file, French clients, followed by, so you have to save it as an Excel workbook. Use conditional formatting to display any rows where the city shown in cell F5 to F105 matches the city entered in the cell F2 with white text and red background. Okay, so white text and red background. So we have to use conditional formatting. The question is very straight away, very clear that whatever you enter here, so this, it should match the city and the entire row for that particular should be selected. Okay, so the way we can do this is that we can simply do is we can simply select the city because we want to conditionally format this. So for this particular case, I believe we have to use a rule. So let me just try this. I can come into manage rule. Okay, let me give it a shot. I can come to new rule. I can use a formula. Please let me just try it myself first. Then I can, if it's working, I can explain to you. So I can say over here is that if, let's say, if the value of F2 is equals to value of F5. Okay, now what I want to do over here is I don't want to change F, but I want to change is 5, which means F5 to change into F6 and so on. So I'll remove the dollar sign before 5. When I do that, the rows will increment, they will increase 6, 7, 8, but my obviously the column will not increase. You can have a dollar sign for the row or the column as well. So what we can do is we can format this so that it will have a fill which is red and the font will white. So here we go. I have the font which is white. So I'll press OK and OK, and I'll apply. And so I have this white apply. Right? So what we'll do, we'll just type over here is Control C and Control V. So you see over here is it will automatically highlight where Paris, and that also does work, right? Okay. So we have this. Save the file this. In column H, enter formula that will automatically number the rows where the city matches this matches the city in F2. Okay, so very good question set up by the examiner. So what we have to do is I have to actually number this 1, 2, and all that over here. So the way we can do this is we can do over here is I can use is that if this is equal to but I have to so obviously lock is F2. If it's this is equals to this, right? Then we can actually do is we can count and we can use the range. Okay, now this is interesting. This is very good way of doing it. Listen carefully. So I will use this range and I will use, so I want to start from F5, okay, and I want to go till F5. What do I mean by that? Actually, I would lock is over here F5, okay. F5 will be locked, and over here what I can do is I can lock is F, so I can put dollar sign before F, but 5 will not be locked. And the criteria, okay, over here. So if this is equals this, count if that's the range, and the criteria is obviously this, right? And obviously we are going to log this again, right? And here we go, we close the bracket as well, right? Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll simply leave it empty, right? Press OK. So here is what we have. Okay, that's the way it works, right? I'll repeat this again. This is a very good way. So I'll explain it again if you have a problem. So if the value, if F2, which we made stat absolute, we don't want the value in F2 change. If that is equal to the value in F5, okay, so F5 obviously will replicate. And even in this case, what obviously I can do is it will remain the same. I can even make this static. As you can see, I can add dollar sign. Okay, so which means the F column will not replicate, but the rows will replicate, will increase. So if this condition is true, if this is there, then I need to count how many times appearing. Now, the best way to do this was using COUNTIF. So I want to give the range. Now, the problem over here was that if I give the entire range, okay, it will count how many times this is appearing. I don't want that. I simply want to count as I go down. So I want to give a range where I start from a top value, and then I want to count the second one. Then I want to count the third one, from the top to the third one, then from top to the fourth one, then top to the fifth one, then top to the sixth one. This keeps on going on. So, and if the statement is not true, then it should give me an empty cell. So this is one of the best intelligent way that I could think of, and I did it. Okay, so then we have a question that says over here is enter formula in H2 to automatically display the number of rows where the city matches the cell. Okay, so it's very simple. If we want to count how many times it's appearing, I think so we can simply use count. And I'm pretty sure all of you know that. Because count will simply count the number of cells that have numbers. So values, you know that. Okay, I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry. Excuse me for my touchpad. My right touchpad is working properly. So here we go. We got 3. Right. So enter formula in cell K5 over here. Okay, but that's different. When replicated into L5 to Q5 from L5 from here till here. Okay, I can zoom in a bit more so I can explain you what the question is all about. Okay, very interesting. A very interesting Excel paper set by the examiner. Okay, very interesting, I would say. So displays the data for the first numbered row as shown. Okay, so they've given the number of rows over here. Okay, format cells K4 till Q4 with this outline borders. Text in cell K4 to Q4 must be left line and in a 10-point board. Okay, so replicate the formula in cell K5 till Q5 down to the rows this so that the data is highlighted. Okay, right. Okay, right. We say design sufficient. Okay, so let's do this part first. So enter formula replicated displays the data of the first numbers. Okay, right. What they're saying over here is that I need to open up the other file, which was the clients. No, I don't need this. Sorry, I don't need the clients. So that's for mail merge. So you can see over here is I have gender, I have title, I want the gender, but I have to look up from here. So I have to look up for 1, and I have to display the following result over here. Then I have to display the 2 result over here. Then if I have 3, I have to display over here. So as this keeps on changing, this should keeps on changing. Okay, and if you read the question, okay, you got this, what we have to do. So the way we can do this is, we can use is VLOOKUP and lookup, but index and match seems to be the better option. So let me explain you. So I can use index, and in index, obviously, the first thing we need to do is we have to give the array. So that's my array that I have. I'll provide the entire array. Okay. And we need to lock the array, so I will obviously lock the array, comma, the row number. Now the row number needs to be done with a match, so I'll use match, and I'll just explain you the way I can think of this. So I need the lookup value. So the lookup value basically is this is my lookup value, right? So in this case, it's J5, comma, the lookup array obviously is from here, because this 1, 2, 3, they have to be searched from this particular column, right? And comma 0 for the exact match, as you know that. And obviously we can simply close the bracket. Right. Now, column number. Okay, what can in that for that? What we can do is obviously how do I specify with the column number? Now they are in a sequence. That's a good thing. It's easy for us to do it. So it's gender, title, given name. So all I have to do is when I replicate this. So the question was that I have to apply a formula that can be replicated to the rest of them. I don't have to apply different formulas for the title, for the surname. It's not the way. You can't use a lookup, VLOOKUP, because then you don't get full marks. You have to make a formula, devise a formula that can be replicated for the other fields. That's the key component of the question. So in that particular case, what we can do is I can use is column. Okay, I can type column, and over here I can just type over here is 1. So column 1 basically means is that This will change to column 2, column 3, and so on and so. So if I replicate this, I'm not done yet. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. So actually, one should have typed A1. So actually it's A1. So if you want to refer to columns, it's A1 or B1 or C1, the one that you have to refer to. So obviously, if we replicate this, obviously you would see is that, okay, this change in B1 and this change into C1, so on and so, okay, right? But there's something that I have to check over here is that if I replicate this, okay, match J5, that's fine. I just want to confirm, and H5 till this and this, right? So fine, this is done. Let me just properly replicate this. And if I replicate this, you can see over here is I'm getting NA. This needs to be resolved, but because then the next part of the question says something, let me replicate this. And you'll get the idea that this NA should not appear. So if I have discussed with you in my previous lectures about if error, we can use that. If error is a very good way to deal with it. So here we go. So what we can do is we can use over here is if error. So if there is an error, because NA basically is an error. So if there is an error, okay, so value if error, right? Or otherwise, if you get an error, I just want is nothing to appear. So I'll say yes. So now if I replicate this, okay, oh, now I have to replicate again this way, left, right. One should always use a mouse. I cannot. So here we go. So I have get the point. So if there is an error, in that case, I just want nothing to appear. So that's the way this can be done, basically. Okay. Okay, let's read the question again. How have we fulfilled the requirements? Next, what this here is saying is replicate the formula and select it down to row 1 through 5 so that the data in any highlights row is displayed. Edit your formula so that error messages are not displayed. We've done that. Resave your spreadsheet. Okay. Design a solution to display number in column J. In column J. Okay, only when there is data in the column K, 2, Q, and H. Okay, which means I'll just show you what this work. What this thing actually over here is that if I change this from, let's say, let me just copy this and let me just place this here. Okay, so it is working, by the way. Oh, we don't want this. We don't want these serials. So what we can do is, I'll just tell you what we can do is. So what they're saying is we don't want the data in this. So if you read the question again, 1 second. Design solution to display numbers in column J. In column J, you have the numbers only when there is data. So this should not be displayed. Okay, so we can use conditional. And what we can do is I can select this. Okay, and I can select this. And we can say over here is, let me try this. I could say over here is that if okay, so is equals to this. I'm replicate this. If this is equals to empty, then format the font color to white. Okay. It works. So if I let me just try this. If I write over here is Paris, yes, it works. So that's the way this particular thing should be done. I hope it's all clear. You can watch the video and I'll complete the rest of the parts afterwards. Thank you so much.